Parental alienation is the manipulation of a child to reject one parent or the other. There was a good standing relationship with the child prior to the manipulation. If, whether it was a mom or dad, if that parent had a good relationship, a loving relationship with the child before the alienation started, then it is considered alienation. When one parent, or caretaker I should even say, takes steps to intervene, block, or interfere with the child's relationship of the other parent or the other caretaker, this is considered alienation. When a parent takes steps to isolate the child from their parent, when they make the child angry with the other parent, manipulate the child so that the child feels that the other parent is not safe, does not love them, generally not a good parent. If the child is made to believe any of those thoughts, or there are attempts to make the child believe that, this is considered alienation. So there are 5 main strategies that an alienating parent will exercise. It's always the same across the board. I don't understand. It's like they all got sent to one camp and learned all of the same strategies. It's flabbergasting. It's so appalling that they all cross everywhere. They all do pull the exact same crap. The first one is poisonous messages to the child about the targeted parent, maintaining that the parent is not safe, not loving, and not responsible and unavailable. Strategy number 1. Poisonous messages to the child about the targeted parent in which he or she is portrayed as unloving, unsafe, and/or unavailable. So for number 1, for poisonous messages to the child about the targeted parent, lower end of the spectrum, those will come out like, oh, you know how dad is, or you know how mom is. Just little digs, or, oh, well, if you get scared going over to mom's house, just know that I'm just a phone call away. Putting it in the child's head that the child should not feel safe around their mom or dad. Of course, then it goes all the way up to the super duper obvious, where one parent is just blasting the other parent right to the child. Strategy 2. Limiting contact and communication between the child and the targeted parent. So limiting contact and communication, that gets split up, and when we talk about the 17 strategies, the ways that they go about it, like let's say for the contact, it starts off, depending on how old your child is, it can start off by the other parent saying, oh, so-and-so, your kiddo is sick this weekend, she is not going to come. It starts like that. Then it's like maybe they start over-scheduling the child for activities so that the time that you have with your child is, lowered. And not to say that activities, extracurriculars are bad, because they're obviously not. It's just that when you notice that plans are scheduled mostly during your time, then usually that's the case. They also do this this is a big one. Let's say that you have expressed that you are always available to take your child or children when your ex is not available to, let's say, for work trips or, for the night out or whatever it is. You've said, hey, I'd love to do it. If you're going to hire a sitter, please don't, hire me. And instead they hire a sitter. Then, without even asking, no emails, no calls, no nothing. That's also limiting contact. There was something in decrees, I think in Texas anyway, I think they took it out, where it was first right of refusal is what it was called. So they had to give the other parent the chance to refuse extra time before they went out. But it was just so hard to enforce that I don't believe it's a standard on decrees anymore. So on the communication side of things, do this by obviously intercepting voicemails and text messages, even birthday cards, letters, anything like that, intercepting those and not ever, without the intention to ever give those to your child is one. And then also symbolic communication, meaning pictures up in, the child's room, letters again. This happened to me. I got my daughter flowers this is years ago, her kindergarten graduation, and they were immediately thrown in the trash, before, because I gave them to her. And then they got home and daughter said she never saw him again. So there's that. So that's limiting contact and communication. Strategy number 3, erasing and replacing the targeted parent from the heart and mind of the child. So this can happen, self-explanatory, but I figured, just go through them all because it could be. The erasing part would be not speaking, first of all, not allowing for any talk, meaning child comes home, he or she had a great time with you, she begins to talk about what y'all did together. The favored parent makes it very known that this talk about you and affection shown towards you is not welcome in the house. So that's one way. So referring to you by first name or a name other than mom or dad, or whatever established name that you guys have had over the years before the manipulation started, to the other parent or to, whoever else. If they start doing that, you know that this is an issue. Also, the other parent just referring to you in front of the child by calling you by first name. If that's not something that's been happening before that. Replacing is when the other parent is encouraging the child to call the step parent or whoever else by your term of endearment, by mom or dad. Strategy number 4, encouraging the child to betray the targeted parent's trust. The easiest way to explain it is when you have found out through the child in some way, whatever's happening, that you've either caught your child spying on you, when you notice that your child is lying to you, basically when the other parent is saying, don't tell mom or don't tell dad, but blah, blah, blah. When they're confiding, when the other parent is confiding in your child inappropriately, right? Age inappropriate or, situationally inappropriate for a child, no matter what the age, to know in order to sway your child's opinions or whatever the case, if it's advantageous to the other parent. Strategy 5, undermining the authority of the targeted parent. So basically what that is any executive decision that you have made, a parental decision that you have made, they convey to the child that that decision is insignificant. It doesn't matter. It has no weight. Whether that's if you've grounded, put limits on your child in some way or another, like by grounding, they know that you don't like your child watching rated R movies and they do it, they suggest it to do it. Basically, any parental right that you have, they let the child know that those are not to be respected. So.